Hey, hi there. This is Pat McDonald, your host for Vote for Vermont, where our tagline is listening beyond the soundbites. As you can see, we're not in the studio. We are at the...
Hanging out in my Community Kitchen Academy!
At the Community Kitchen Academy at Capstone in Barre, Vermont. And I am here with the infamous, if not famous, Chef Joey Butendorf.
Thank you.
Who is going to show us what she does with her class.
Yes.
And talk about the program and how important it is for jobs and economic development.
Yes.
Joey, take it away.
Thank you very much, Pat. Welcome back. Welcome, Craig. We're going to come on over here. Come on down, guys. Everybody, these are my students, my current class. This is Anthony in front of me, and Bryant, and Chantel, and Rebecca. And you guys don't need to have your gloves on because you're not cooking anything. You're just watching, Chef. Yeah. Chef's going to talk to you about the chicken that you cut up yesterday and a standard breading procedure, we call it, okay? So these are actually in the wrong place. We actually want these like this. So in the meantime, I'm also going to talk to you about a cooking method different than deep frying. We're going to pan fry these, okay? Because remember I gave you guys all those cooking methods on your sheet. So there's 11 standard cooking methods, and deep frying is one, pan frying is another. This pan is nice and hot right now, and I'm using regular vegetable oil for this, which means it's not an olive oil blend, it's just 100% vegetable oil. It has a higher smoke point, right? So it won't burn as quickly as other oils, right? We know that when we put bacon fat or butter or something in a pan, it burns really fast. You got it? Yes. Good. So these guys are in there like second to last week. Technically they're last week, but second to last week. And they've packed thousands of meals. They have learned tons of things that they don't even realize. I'm sure they're all a little tired. I'm really sure of that. Bryant over here has been working full time this entire time. Anthony is in transition with new jobs and careers and things in life. Rebecca and Chantel came together in class, and Rebecca is a home care provider for Chantel, who's originally from the Congo, which is very cool. And Bryant, you live in Plainfield, right? And Anthony, you're from the Barre area originally, or where are you from originally?
Waterbury.
Waterbury area, Vermont. And Becca?
I am from West Berlin.
Yes, they're from everywhere, but not originally.
No.
No, you've traveled a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So most students come to my program for that. They want to change their careers. They're in a transition in life. They have an open window. Maybe they just want to come hang out with me because I'm so cool. I don't know. No, but I think really what they learn is how to interact with others, how to be a team player, how to have interpersonal skills better, how to be responsible, which is awesome. Some are better than others at that, you know, but they get the practice. My students also run the food shelf here. So we have a 9-week program where students come in and they rotate through the food shelf responsibilities, and we resource food, and we teach them basic cooking skills and practices to become workforce eligible again in the community. It's already happening as Bryant's already working. Chantel just got a job at Walmart in the cafe, right? And so Becca has a futuristic career for herself, working with kids, nutrition, loves to care for people. So we'll build on that micro biz for her. And Anthony just wants a great job somewhere that's really structured and pays him well, so he can, you know, have structure in his life, right, Anth? So yeah. I think that's great. So, you know, everybody's goal for coming can be different, but we'll feed it all the same, you know what I mean, from the kitchen, and then what you take from it is up to you guys, right? So they're all a little nervous and freaked out about Serve Safe exams, of course, and other things that we give here. We give a Serve Safe certificate for management of food practices. We also have lots of other network resources through the Department of Labor, through Central Vermont Adult Basic Education, through the Vermont Food Bank, who's a big partner of ours. So there's a lot of resources given to the students once they're accepted as a CKA student. We have another session starting in November on the 13th, and I'm happy to take applications for that now. And you guys are my best promoters, right? You're gonna go out and say, oh, I had a great time, hopefully, and influence your jobs in good ways. If you can be a positive influence in that environment, that's what you should do. So if you want to come closer, you can. Don't worry, you can stand right here in a half moon if you want. So The thing I'm looking at here is that my oil is hot now. I can feel it and it's dancing. So I'm gonna turn this heat way down because I control the heat, not little fairies, right? Remember that. And I can walk away now and talk for a few minutes because I've been doing this for a long time. But I can see that the oil is shimmering a little. And if I really wanted to see that, I would put my head down level to the oil and I can see. The French chefs call that dancing. When the oil's dancing, it's hot enough, okay? We have 2 different kinds of meat here. It's all chicken, but we have 2 different cuts. Remember we've been talking about the cuts of meat and how to cook them? So these are actually the chicken tenders, right? So in this container, I have flour, I have some paprika, smoked paprika, I'm gonna add salt, okay? And I'm gonna add some black pepper to the flour itself. This is called a dredge when we do this. So that's on your vocabulary list. To dredge something, right, is to kind of dredge it in a seasoned flour, okay? Now, if I wanted to cook calamari, like squid tentacles that you see in restaurants, you put polenta in here with the flour or a little cornstarch, and then you would dredge that calamari, fry it really fast, right? Seafood goes quick, right? So this is gonna be a little different. So these are the tenders. So these are smaller pieces than the breasts, right? So chef's gonna do these first because they're gonna cook really quick. And I think, Bryant, if we're lucky, we have some barbecue sauce in there and a squeeze bottle that we can eat with these tenders when they're done. So we're making a corn flake breading. See how the corn flakes are here? Chef was crushing them up with her hands because she doesn't really want to have these huge pieces of corn flake. They'll fall off when we cook them, okay? We want to kind of crush them up so they get a better texture. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So then we always start with flour, and then there's a liquid. It can be egg, it can be milk, it can be buttermilk, it can be cream, it can be yogurt, it can be whatever you want. But it has not, water doesn't work, okay? Maple syrup doesn't work, okay? But it really should be a viscous liquid. Egg is really the most popular for fried chicken because it creates a little layer of steam in between the breading, right? So then we take the corn flake and we'll pack it on the chicken. See that? Okay, and there's one. Pretty cool, right? Thank you, Anthony. That's perfect. So now, chef's remembering that she has 2 hands, right? And that I can do more than one at a time. Yes? And that's the point. Because when you're doing about 100 orders of these, right, in standard breading, your hands are gonna get all sticky and your fingers will get coated with stuff and you'll go, ew, chef, I don't like this after the 100 pieces of chicken. And oh well, you still have to do it, right? So that's part of work ethic, right? That we just have to do things we don't want to do sometimes. Remember I was telling you about the 70 cases of portobello mushrooms I had to clean my first day at Traps as an intern? So that's what happened. It was awful, but I did it. And I have it, that might be one of the hardest lessons we teach, is that we have to do things we don't want to do. And that creates work ethic. And that is because we have our eyes set on a bigger goal, right? So if we have to start as the dishwasher, we might have to. And then if they see how good of a worker we are, we might get lucky and get moved up naturally in the kitchens, right, you guys? But, you know, hey, it depends on what you've got going on. Everybody's different. And everybody's motivation's different. I have talked to people who are happy being line cooks and want to stay that way. You know, and don't need to move, don't need to progress, they're doing fine. You know what I mean? And that's cool. What I want to say to my students right now is that your level of success is your own, right? It's individual. Fran Voigt from Necky would be happy for me saying that to you right now, because it's true. You know, we can all have our sights set on being the best chefs in the world or having millions or this or that, but it's about your success, your personal, what makes you comfortable, right? That's the most important thing. So now my fingers are getting icky, but Chef has noticed that in her life of 30-something years of doing this, that I'm not gonna wash them right now because I have more chicken to bread, right? But my oil's on, and I know that. Yes, so I'm gonna start with these guys, and Anthony's gonna grab me a set of tongs that doesn't have the, you know, I like the heavier metal ones, honey. My favorite ones. Chefs are particular about certain things. Tongs, the floor, What are my things, you guys? Tongs.
Keeping the kitchen clean.
Keeping the kitchen clean. That should be every chef's nuance. But you know, using the right tool for the right job, right? So we're not gonna use steak knives to cut potatoes, yes? We're gonna use our chef's knife. And these four just had a special delivery of knife kits for graduation. And Brian's all excited. And I gotta tell you that you should be, because they're nice. And when I open one up today and show you, that should incentivize you for the next 2 weeks to do really well in class. No. So at graduation, they'll get their ServSafe certificate, hopefully. And we'll get, if not, the grades will come after. That's up to ServSafe. They do their thing, ServSafe. But they'll get a knife kit. They'll get all the tools they need to start a job. They'll get a brand new coat to start their job. They get to take their name tags with them. Also, they look yummy, don't they? I think that's it.
They do.
For that one. Okay, so we're gonna come over here now, and I want you to see, this is how I know. I put my tip of my chicken in, see? And I float it a little, and when it's bubbly like that, then we know it's hot enough. But here's the other thing. There's a trick to frying, right? If we put too many pieces in the pan versus the amount of space and oil we have, it'll cool the oil down. And we don't want that. We want it to stay at this temperature, which is probably right now at about 320. Okay, it's gonna come up. But, so if I put too many pieces in, I probably put 5. If I put too many pieces in, it'll cool the oil down, and then it starts to poach that chicken instead of fry that chicken, and we don't want that. We want to have it be crispy on the outside, right? So Brian, you're gonna hand me one of those round plates. Yes, Maddie, we figured it out, didn't we?
Yeah, I know. It was in the program.
It was? You got it? Polly found it?
Yep.
Okay, so you're all good? Okay. Sorry, distraction. But that's Maddie, who's a CK alum, and he runs the food shelf. He's my food shelf assistant, and they're working on an HR project that we had to do. And Pat, am I allowed to talk to you at all? A little bit?
Yeah, go ahead. It's live.
Because we're going to talk about, sorry, it's live. We're going to talk about current events really quickly. Pat, when she came in, asked me immediately how the food shelf was. It's very busy, and I'm sad to say this, but my staff and I needed to take some de-escalation trainings and videos because people are crabby
Everybody's
in society. And so when somebody comes into the food shelf and starts, you know, not being okay, we wanted to have extra training so that we know how to deal with society and calm people down. I'm gonna send a big hug out right now. Keep calm and carry on, everybody. It's gonna be okay. Because what Pat doesn't realize is I wanted to say that today no matter what. Since I woke up, something was telling me I had to say that. And it's true. And if you want to fry chicken for therapy, go for it, you know? Or if you need to go for a walk for 5 minutes, do it. If you just need to go outside and take a breath, please. Because really, that's all it takes is that minute of self-time to kind of calm down and keep going through life. There's a lot of things outside right now that we don't control, right? So let's realize that we can't control that. We can only control how we perceive and react to that, right? Yeah. So, and take care of ourselves. Yes? Thank you. Thanks, Pat. Thanks, guys. Thanks, WDV, for coming. So we're gonna see how nice and dark this is getting now. We're gonna keep flipping these a little bit. Turn the heat down because I remember it's me in control. And I know that these are chicken tenders, so they're not going to take very long to cook, okay? I need a few paper towels, Anthony, or a piece of parchment to soak up some of this. And we're going to let this come out now. Right here's fine, honey. Yep, we're going to fold that. So we can use parchment. Anthony's bringing me towels, which is great. And we're going to lay these to bed right on these towels to soak up some of the fat. But when you use good oil, vegetable oil, which is, this is just a, 100% vegetable, which is probably corn oil, which is great. It doesn't have a lot of extra flavor. And I can tell that these are done because they're lighter than they were when I put them in the pan, right, you guys? Like they're not as heavy. And they're chicken tenders. so they don't take that long. But we have a nice little snack. Bryant, why don't you go into the cooler and get that barbecue sauce? We'll taste them in a second. Okay, we can leave that pan right there. Becca, over here. Yeah, because we're gonna do the breast. They take a little longer.
What are you doing? Variety chicken?
We're doing cornflake chicken. Not bad, Matt.
Not good last time.
Right, we're live TV, honey. You're awesome. Yeah. So this is delicious. And I'm just gonna let it, I'm gonna break that in a second, but I wanna let it sit for a minute. We have something that's called carryover cooking. And so who can tell me what carryover cooking is? Anthony, can you? Bryant, can you?
It continues to cook from inside.
Yes. So it's very, very close, honey. Yes, that's a good definition. What that is when you let food rest, it continues on the cooking process. So it could be steam happening. Remember I told you about steaks, we want to let it rest, the muscles. So for tenderness and whatever. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna let that rest for a second while these guys are cooking, and then we're gonna taste in a minute. But we have breasts to do too, and they take a little bit longer. And see this right here? These are cooked more than the others, right? So when I pull these out, I'm gonna grab my screen and clean that grease. Every time we work a fry station, we wanna clean the grease after we're done frying something. It also helps keep that fat longer for you in your fryer, but because every time we heat up oil, it denatures the oil, so it breaks down the structure of that oil, okay? You guys with me? Anthony, what are you working on over there? Why don't you tell us?
Well, it's the chicken stock.
Thanks.
And right now I am skimming the top.
We call that a cumin, right? But we want to use a salt. Well, get me a ladle. Let me get you a ladle. Hand me a ladle, Rebecca. I'm coming back down in a minute. Hand me a ladle right there, smaller.
Okay.
So this is called écumé, you guys, when we skim the scum off the top of a chicken stock. So we have a varietal chicken stock going. Greg, you can come closer if you want pictures of the stock or my hands that are covered in cornflakes doing this. But we're gonna show Anthony that when we take a ladle and just skim it like this, okay, instead of the slotted spoon, it takes the dirt, and this is the impurities, right? So we're gonna actually turn this flame down. I can barely see it.
Oh, that's the back one.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're gonna turn this down.
Yeah.
Okay, and now this will stop foaming so much, okay? But basically, when we skim the scum, we're taking the impurities off the top to get a better stock. You're gonna see a lot in this one because we have multiple chicken bones going on, right? So we have fresh chicken plus roasted chicken that we added in here to make a combo stock. You can roast chickens and then reboil those bones in order to make a really delicious fortified stock because all the seasonings cook in and all that stuff happens, and then it's really delicious. Let's come on down to the chicken again. Right behind you guys. I can hear you. And I grab the crumbs I don't like. Here we go. Yum. Who knew we were having fried chicken for lunch? Polly's been wanting to make cornflake chicken for a while. So, that's what we're talking about. Tender, juicy, delicious, done all the way. It does need some salt. And when we fry food, we want to salt it always when it's warm, you guys, okay? So, and the reason is the salt melts when it's warm. You ever notice? I gotta say this. I've been watching this crazy documentary called The History of Food, The Food That Built America. Because chain food, McDonald's, production of food after World War I really affected the economy of America. McDonald's, did you ever notice they toss their fries when they're really hot? And they salt them when they're really hot, and then by the time you get them, you don't really have granulated salt. It's because it melts on the hot. Okay? So these are really super light. I mean, literally, like they're like feathers, you guys. Like I barely have to pick them up. Any of them that have a little heavy in there, I'm gonna leave in there for a minute. Okay? Just because they're not quite done yet. But you can feel it. You know, literally through the tongs I can feel that. Pretty wild. So, Polly, we did your cornflake chicken, or tenders anyway. Right? And now, if you grab me that screen, or there's a square screen that has smaller holes, right, Paul? Those are called spiders. And we call them spiders, you guys, because they look like a spider web. The mesh, right? So, we're gonna actually take this piece out and I'm gonna show you. Where's a bowl? I just need a little bowl. Or this guy. Right here. So if we strain it, it takes this stuff out. So I'm giving you like a smaller demonstration of how to pan fry something versus deep fry it, right? If I were to deep fry it, we would do the same thing. We would have to clean the grease every time, and we should. And I worked a place where there were 7 fryers all in a row, and they made their own homemade onion rings. And you think my hands are sticky now, you know, like it was crazy. It was a wild game place in Minnesota. But we had to clean those fryers constantly, right? Because we wanted to save the fat. This in the bottom of the fryer will create, even on a home fryer, on a countertop fryer, you know, it'll create all the junk, it'll burn in there and it makes your fat bitter. We don't want that, right? So, the other thing I want to say is air fryers are great, but in order to use them, I'm going to wash my hands now, Greg, because that's what we need to do. In order to use an air fryer, they really, like, you have to prep food to do it. You know? Like, they say, oh, these are great, but then you have to blanch your fries anyway before you put them in there. Or then you have to prepare this to do that. What I've learned in air fryers is, like, chicken nuggets, chicken tenders go quick, you know, things that are small, right? So I love the air fryers for people's houses because you don't want your house to smell like deep fat. You know, I don't, but they're great for like little baby potatoes. You know those little round, colorful potatoes that we can get? They're great for that. They're a pain to clean after. But when I had the food truck in Johnston, I had a food truck for a couple years. I built a food truck for a family that wanted one, and they ran it in Johnston for a few years over COVID, and we did those potatoes in air fryers, and they were great, and we served them with the sandwiches. You know, it was good. But yeah, there. Got the cornflakes, most of them out of my fingernails. Most of them. Nobody said frying was neat and happy. It's not. And like you said, one of the things you notice about me is that I keep the kitchen clean, but it's not a clean thing to fry things. You can try to be as clean as possible, but especially with cornflakes, you know, they're kind of everywhere. But we can grind those up more too, but if you'd like to taste the chicken tenders, you guys, you can. Because I know some of you are hungry. Okay? Little pepper. Yeah.
Oh, you already have
Yeah, go ahead, Rebecca.
Sure.
Okay. Oh, I lost one. How'd that happen? You'll have that, Polly. Well, I'll bread the rest of these, Polly, because I have it here. And then you can turn your fryer on if you want. So that is your lesson on standard breading procedure. Now, this could be panko breadcrumbs. This could be Italian breadcrumbs. You can do eggplant like this. You can do zucchini like this. You can do all kinds of things like this, right? So, any questions for me?
No.
No? You got it? It's nice and hot? Is it delicious? Yeah? Good.
It was yummy.
Pat, would you like to try? Does anybody like to try? Greg, would you like to try? Please do.
Yeah, we should take a break and then we'll come back and talk to the students.
Sounds great.
How's that, so we can eat?
Thanks.
So I'm going to be interviewing some of the students today. We just saw cooking and kind of winding up to graduation. Anthony,
Yes.
I have to compliment you. I was watching you and you were reading what the chef needed when you got a plate to put the chicken on. That's excellent. Good for you.
Well, thank you. I try to be aware because of the food safety course that we are taking on this culinary course. Yes, I want to get into the management of food service and safety. I think that's a really fantastic job because everybody should be able to eat and not have to worry about becoming sick.
Oh, amen to that.
So,
I have actually had food poisoning once that I remember, and it wasn't pleasant.
yeah, well,
Yes.
I'm sorry to hear that
Yeah.
because it can be very, it can cause death.
Yeah, right. So how did you hear about Capstone, and why did you apply?
I actually heard it from other graduated classmates,
yeah.
friends, and I just wanted to take the opportunity to go to a different career. I was always, construction work, and I kind of don't want to have to physically work too hard, even though working in kitchens is kind of like chaos and it's very intense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's still a lot of physical aspects because you're on your feet all day. And like I said before, is I just want to be able to help the community with, feeding those in need.
So what kind of a place are you looking to work? Some kind of, when you're talking about some kind of cafeteria, a large place to cook food, or what do you have in mind?
Right now, it's still up in the air because I actually kind of wouldn't mind getting into baking. I think I love desserts.
Yes. Well, I'm really everywhere. We camp in Maine, and last year it started. Everybody was closing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday because they didn't have the chef, they didn't have waitress, they didn't have waitresses, and the industry is really hurting right now for people. And for people like you who pay attention, I think you'll do well.
I hope I can. I hope I succeed at what I'm doing.
Well, that's great. I really thank you for the time.
And I appreciate you interviewing me. And
we'll see you at
enjoying-
graduation. So
Yes,
yay.
thank you.
Cool, thank you. Come on down. Next guinea pig, here's a, have a seat.
Thank you.
So I'll sort of ask you the same questions. This is Chantal. Chantal, where are you from?
I'm from Congo's Democratic.
That is so exciting for me. That's really great.
Thank you.
Yeah. So how did you hear about Capstone and why did you apply?
I came here to learn and to teach someone people.
Great.
And my mind, I want to be Harvard's to open my business myself
Nice.
to help me, and people like us.
That's great. And may I ask, what is Congolese food? What if I were to go to your home and sit at your table, what would you serve different than perhaps we serve here?
Okay, that's a good question. So I use fufu, and I use vegetables. Is dark green, boils after 30 minutes. It's ready, and everything complete same.
Great.
It's so delicious.
That's great.
I love it, and I fry tilapias.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites.
Oh, that's great. So do you cook at home still?
Yes.
Yeah, that's nice. Well, that would be a great restaurant. I love to eat different foods, and I would welcome the chance to taste that food.
Thanks so
That's
much.
great. So you're graduating next week.
Next week, I'm so very happy.
It's pretty intense. How many weeks is this course? 8? Is that
Yes,
8?
yeah.
It is very intense. I videotaped this more than once. I did it under another chef besides Chef Joey, but that woman's got more energy.
Yes,
Oh.
I believe it.
But anyway, you'll be graduating and be able to get a job pretty much anywhere you want.
Yeah, I have a job Walmart, but I have a case manager. I want to tell her Friday. So I'm so happy. So they teach me completely different, and I make bread zucchinis.
Nice.
I make bread, bananas, profit, everything.
Excellent. So you'll be cooking at Walmart for them, or organizing food? What will you be doing for them? Because it's got to be involved with food.
Yeah, I don't believe it. I make it, they send it to me to the sweet because
Yeah.
they like it.
Yeah.
and I make a fluffies, so can cake,
Nice.
and we make it different colors, rainbows,
Very nice.
and they love it so much.
Good for you. Well, I wish you a lot of luck. We'll see you at the graduation, and good for you. Congrats.
Thank you
you
so
very
much.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Great. So this is Brian. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, cool. This is exciting. Graduation tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah, very nice.
Next one.
Next one. Oh, that's right, because
Yeah.
I'm invited to lunch, so I better know what day. So how did you hear about Capstone? Why did you come here?
This was an option to like finish off the ending of my high school credits. Instead
Perfect.
of going to high school this year, because like for half the year I could come here. Like, once I graduate this, I graduate high school. So I'm
I
gonna get
didn't know
official
that.
credits.
That's great. That's a great program. When did that start? Do you know?
No, it was just the way like my school set up because I only had like elective credits left. So
Okay.
instead of doing like elective classes, I could instead I did
I see. That's great. Excellent. What high school was this? Spalding? or-
Choice Academy.
Oh, Choice. Excellent. Good for you. Excellent. So, do you love it here?
Yeah, I enjoy cooking. It's fun. It's fun to be.
And
in
you're going to
kitchen.
pursue that when you graduate?
Yeah, I'm currently working at Positive Pie in Springfield.
Oh, where? Where did you say?
Positive Pie in Springfield.
Oh, Positive Pie. We love Positive Pie. That's very good. And Plainfield's a wonderful town.
Yeah.
It's fun. Good
Very
for you.
nice.
So, any dreams for the future? Own your own place or?
Just thinking small now. Just trying to get through school,
Right.
get a license.
Oh, that's great. Good for you. Well, this is pretty intense from what I remember. 8
Yeah.
weeks of work. And
Yeah, pretty much a second
yeah,
job.
and Chef Joey's got more energy than I've ever seen in any one person. Not me, for sure, because she makes me feel tired.
She keeps it
But
going
she
here.
keeps it going. I just learned something today I've never done, and even the photographer here said we're going to be doing cornflake chicken, fried chicken. How cool is that?
Yeah.
It was delicious. So, so you're working already. So and working in school.
Yep.
Goodness, better find time for yourself once in a while.
Yeah.
That's important. So good luck with your future.
Thank you.
And good for you for working so hard. Appreciate it. We need more young people to work hard. Cool. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
This is Rebecca. I'm one of the
Hello.
students here at the Community
Kitchen
Kitchen
class.
Academy.
Yeah.
Got that right. And are you loving it?
I love this class. This course made me learn so much
Cool.
and really cooperation with the team dynamics.
Well,
So, that
Chef
was
Joey
exciting.
will teach you.
Yeah,
I've said this in every interview, but that woman's got some serious energy.
she does. She's
Sure,
a
there she is.
fireball.
Good grief.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what are you going to do after
the class-
graduation's next week?
My plan is to have a nutritional program for my daycare.
Oh,
Yeah.
God bless you. That's wonderful.
I want to get the kids excited about nutrition early
Good.
and farm to plate. You know, that's the Vermont
Yes.
style. Yeah.
It is. I find when you go to a farm to plate restaurant and they have listed, eggs from Charlie's down the road, it all tastes better.
Yeah.
It makes you feel like you're really doing something with your health.
It's true.
It's great.
Yeah.
So you think little people will love to hear this and be interested?
I think so, because I have some ideas. Chef Jolie showed me how to make things fun, food fun, and, cut out shapes, colors, and just get them excited because growing up in the city, I totally have a disconnect for, where our food comes from,
Yeah.
and being a Vermonter now, it made me just really appreciate it. Seriously.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now, you said you're from West Berlin?
Well, I live in West Berlin, but I am from Philadelphia.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
there
we
you
moved
go.
here 3 years ago.
That's
My
great.
husband and I, yeah.
I hope you like it here because
I
I'm
love
from
Vermont.
I'm from Berlin. I'm on the Economic Development Committee in Berlin, so it's
Okay,
my
we're
it's my
neighbors.
hometown.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a great town. A lot
It
of
is.
a lot of our people on Route 302 got really impacted by the flood.
Yeah.
So that's
And the
been,
neighbors are awesome.
yeah. West Berlin's a good place.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So, tell us about your daycare center. Is it in your home?
Well, it's going to be a home daycare at first, and then we're going to move into, hopefully we can find a good space for a registered
Nice.
home.
Great.
That's the main goal. And hopefully it could be a natural setting where the kids can really be a part of nature, and that's my goal.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, it's in desperate need for, dare I say, affordable daycare centers, but and then to teach them about food and get them
Yeah, so
involved maybe
early
in
is
cooking and stuff.
exciting.
How a great.
Yeah,
Good for you.
that's what I'm excited about. I love food.
So-
but I love fostering a healthier relationship with food because I was obese and I lost oh my God, like all my weight in the pandemic. I was 280 pounds when I moved here.
Bless you, are you
The
kidding?
day before the pandemic was announced in Vermont.
How did you do that? I asked because I've tried many times and failed.
I think it was just the timing. You know, we all were,
As my father says, just eat less.
yeah, that's part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just working out and then just getting a healthier relationship with food, getting introduced to food in a better way, and just getting away from the process part of it and going to like the
Yes,
farm to
that's
plate
right,
version and
right.
trying to understand it. That helped me a lot. And then intermittent fasting and affirmations.
There you go. Both those things. Bravo.
Yeah, in Vermont's woods. Thank you, Vermont, for the woods and the nature.
It's a great place.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
a great state. And just like we all found out, when things go bad, they're always there. People step up in
People
this
do
state.
step up. We
They
couldn't
do.
have made it here without the kindness of Vermonters
That's
throughout
right.
the year, honestly.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you a lot of luck. We'll be at the graduation
I'm
and
looking
wishing you
forward
well.
to it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Rebecca.
very much.
Thanks.
Thank you for coming.
It's fun.
Bye, everybody. Thank
See?
you.
I hope you will all check this program out. It's at Capstone in Barrie. And as you can hear from Rebecca and the other folks that we've interviewed, they all love it. And you leave with a certificate, a graduation, and able to find a job afterwards. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you.
We'll see you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. We've had a wonderful day. We've seen Chef Joey teach her class. This is one of the last weeks of the 9-week course that she produces for students, and they are all wonderful. We've interviewed them, found out what their aspirations are and dreams after graduation. 96% placement rate. I think that's fabulous. This is, as I've said before, one of my favorite workforce development programs in Vermont. And I love it, the students love it, and Capstone is an amazing organization, which is run by Sue Mittner. And now we're going to watch the graduation and watch Chef Joey give out their certificates. They're getting a set of knives, which is very exciting. They already have their chef jackets, which is very exciting. And it's been a pleasure to be here to watch these students grow from the first day all the way to 9-week completion. They've learned to be very professional, have a lot of self-confidence, and are ready to go into the world and do wonderful things. So thank you for joining us. We'll watch the graduation and then hear from Sue Mittner. And I thank you all very much.
So, to give you a little background, my tenure here at Capstone started 4 years ago exactly, which is awesome. This is now my 14th class that I've done. This is class number 32 of CKA history here in Barrie. The Community Kitchen Academy was developed by the Vermont Food Bank partnership with New England Culinary Institute for the concept. And then they partnered with CVOYO in Burlington and Capstone here in Barrie, which is how we ended up with the 2 Community Kitchen Academies. They're fantastic. They've always had sort of a NECI alum or NECI affiliation, and I was a NECI instructor for 18 years prior to coming to Capstone. So I just love to do what I do. I drive an hour and a half or more each way every day from JP. It's getting longer and longer in the last couple of years for sure with traffic. Yay, people are coming to Vermont, I love that. But I just love teaching and inspiring through food and doing the best we can to hopefully improve your lives a little bit from when you walked in here 9 weeks ago, right? So we have 3 9-week sessions. We have another one starting November 13th. It used to be 3 sessions of 12 weeks a year, but when COVID hit, we had to change all of that. And my kitchen kicked into gear feeding meals for people in the hotel, so we were doing about 400 to 500 meals a day. Remember, Maddie?
Yeah, I remember.
And before Maddie even came as a student, but yeah. So then it's shifted, and I think we've shifted into a really good place. This 9 weeks seems to work well for everybody. It seems to be enough time. They get a little antsy. They're ready to think about work now, right, you guys, and get out and do what you want to do with the skills that you've learned. So we also made a shift and consolidated the operation of the food shelf into the CKA program, which is fantastic. So these guys really, Anthony, Brian, all of you have taken real ownership of the food shelf, and I love that. And they help Maddie with all the things he needs to do. They help put food away. They help keep food going first in, first out. They practice their serve safe. They learn the interpersonal skills they need by waiting and serving the patrons, you know, being there with them. So I think that's been very beneficial in the last year, that shift that we've made. So I'm really happy you're here, Emmanuel. Thank you. And Liz, thanks for allowing, and Capstone for letting CKA kind of come in and take that over. I think it's been a great shift. So we're now gearing up for Thanksgiving. I can't stop thinking about pies right now and turkeys and things, even though I'm in the middle of this graduation. But these guys have done a really great job, and I will miss every single one of you when you're not here. But, you know, so I really appreciate that. And they're very diverse 4 people. They come from very different backgrounds. So we're gonna get into that in a minute here. But Maureen, thank you very much for all your support. Where are you? Hi, behind the post. I couldn't do what I do without Maureen stepping in for the last year, so let's give her a huge. I really couldn't. I mean that, Maureen. Like the slideshows, just to help, the random signs, the things. Thank you very much. It's a huge support for me. We were at Montpelier Feast, and every class goes and does a luncheon there for the seniors in Montpelier, so that's where Rebecca's waving to you from right there. These are pictures of our food shelf. It's awesome. We try to make it like a little market so people feel dignified when they come in and get choices. And Maddie, I think you hear tons of food back there. We have the best one around, right? A little bit? I think our numbers show that, right? We can't keep enough food on the shelves. But there's a reason for that. Like I can imagine being food insecure. I was at one point in my life in a bad place at a very young age, and I think that when you experience food insecurity, I spent the night at women's shelters in Vegas before and ate out of Salvation Army food lines in Las Vegas. So you know, it's big scale, even way bigger now than it was 25 years ago, right? Or 30 when I was in that place. So I can imagine what it's like to not have that security and walk into a food shelf that has bare shelves and what that double whammy is for you. Right? And where certain tendencies can come from, like hoarding and emotional connections to those things. And I think that that's really important that we maintain this environment that we've had and make it even better and more positive as we go along. So that's what we're going to grow into as much as I can. So in the meantime, I think I have a couple students who are dying to wear their new chef coats today, which they all have. And Chantel, I'm so proud of you for putting that on above your beautiful clothing that you have on for your graduation. And they're also dying to have their knife kits, I think, and sharp knives, right? Yay. So you've earned them. But I'm going to start with Chantel. Why don't you come up and grab your certificate? So Chantel, if I can pronounce your name right, Kianwa, right? Kianwa, is originally from the Congo, yes?
Yes.
And she is living with Rebecca, who's a home care provider and has her own daycare business and other things. But they both came to the class together, and it's been a wonderful experience learning to know who you are, right? And you learning everybody around you, yeah. And we'll be in touch, you know that. You're not done yet. Here you go. Here's your certificate, okay? And here's your own knife kit. Look at this. It's heavy. Careful. Oh my goodness, right? So these kits are great because they have baking tools too. So if some of them wanted to get jobs baking, they could do baking or savory. So your congratulations. Anthony, come on up here, bud. This is Anthony Maska. Yes, Anthony. Oh boy, I'm gonna get emotional with this one now. So, from the day I met you, it's been a 360. I need you to know that. And you know why? Especially because you're looking straight at me with confidence right now, and I love that. Okay? That's a huge thing. And your cooking skills are great, and your understanding of kitchen work is great, and your understanding of teamwork and what it's supposed to be is fantastic. And I think these guys felt it in the kitchen working with you. I know Polly did, you know? And so you just keep on your path, okay? You're a huge part.
You guys will still get to see me. I'll still.
Yeah, you're gonna come around. I know. Well, we still have another week or so of like that, right? Because we want to plan your jobs and stuff, right? So here's your certificate. Turn that around so you can see it. Take pictures. So proud of you, okay? And this, my friend, is for you. I love you too, man. I can see it. If you want to say it, you can tell everybody you love me. It's okay. Okay. Thanks, honey.
Thanks, Polly.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And don't worry, you're coming back tomorrow. We got stuff to clean up. It's time to wrap the kitchen up after a session, right? Okay, Mr. Bryant. Oh, this one gets my heart like a mom, because I'm not a mom, but I am a mom, right? Bryant, I'm so proud of you. You good?
Yep.
Yeah. So Bryant came to me through Choice Academy. Bryant was a COVID high schooler, right? Not fun, was it? No. So Bryant's in a special high school program, and they're here from Choice, right? Who's here? Hi! I knew it was you guys. Thanks for coming. Oh, is that Mom?
Yes.
Oh, hi, Mom. Never met Bryant's mom. Hi, Mom. I'm so excited to meet you. Excuse me. So we're gonna have some personalized education plan for Bryant. He was on a week vacation, you know, so we're gonna make that up. But we're also gonna talk about other alternative things you can do while you're at PPI, right? Which is awesome. So Bryant's worked full time and done this and been in high school the entire time. So, awesome. So here's your certificate. And here's this knife kit you've been waiting for forever. And I'll give you your card after, okay? Thank you. Miss Becca.
Yeah.
Rebecca Clark is awesome. So you called me way before class started.
Yeah.
And we talked on the phone a couple times. And you were hesitant. How come?
Well, it seemed like a large commitment. I'm not a type that really gets into those kind of commitments. And
Well,
then
you did.
I did. But of course, you make it awesome because
Thank
it's a
you.
learning process, but it's like teamwork. So I learned a lot, and I changed.
You have changed a lot,
Yeah.
and you've grown a lot, and we've
Yeah.
all grown a lot. I think I learn from every class and grow just as much as you guys do. Which, who wouldn't want my job, right? What do I do, Pat? I eat, I play, I tell people what to do all day. You know, it's tough,
Yeah.
right? It's tough. But we compartmentalize a lot too. You and I had a lot of conversations about that. Like, how do I handle it all, right? And at times, it's exasperating, like for everybody else in life. But I think it's more about like many deep breaths during the day, right? And time management,
Yeah.
pulling one cubby out, putting it back in, right? Pat, we've talked about that. So, you know, maybe you learned that from me and how to better do that,
I learned a lot. I
right?
couldn't even sum it all up what I learned from her, but it was the wealth of knowledge, and I just want to thank you.
Thank you.
You really helped us see another part of ourselves and understand
Aw,
the
thanks.
entire organization that goes into one.
Here you go, sweetie. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chef.
You're welcome. You're the best.
Thanks.
And here's your brand new knife kit to start showing those moms how to cook better.
Oh yeah,
And cook at your house. Do a couple cooking demos for your friends, you know.
show off, you know.
Thanks. Thank you. So I just want to recognize Liz. There she is right there. Liz Sharp is my direct support and the director of CED. We wouldn't be able to do that without her financial wizardry behind the whole scenes and how we're going to do this and how we're going to do that. We also have incorporated a lot of gleaning initiatives. We've gone potato washing. We have a huge relationship with Community Harvest and that kind of thing. And so I think you guys realize, and we watched a video yesterday that CBS Reports has on streaming right now about food waste and how we could eliminate hunger if we didn't waste our food in this country, which is totally, absolutely, 100% true. I want to say that. So if you think about the amount of food that I use in my little food shelf, which is thousands of pounds in a month of resource food, plus food purchased through the food bank and things like that, and then you get out of your berry bubble and think about that times, you know, maybe 5,000 or 10 around the country. It's an amazing thing that all of that food is wasted and ends up in shelves because people are hungry. So there's a lot of initiatives, you know, if you Google online and you go online and look at that stuff, but I think that video gave you guys kind of a big culmination of what the one mission is that we do, right? We help people, and we're here for the community. And we do the best we can with what we have to save that food. And I have to say, since we took over a year ago, the waste from this kitchen in particular is at least, what, Polly? Cut in 75%. At least, unbelievable, right? We don't put it in the garbage or the compost anymore. It goes to animals for sure, or gets utilized, right? So I bet it's cut 75% for sure. And so, when the stores are overstocking, right, that's part of it. They overstock because the consumer wants to see full shelves. Yes? They want to see perfect carrots. So it's quite interesting, that video, when it shows the love for the imperfect carrot. It's okay to have a semi-empty shelf, not all the meat cuts in the market at once, that kind of thing. So maybe it'll spark some interest, just me talking about it, for people to kind of go research that and be more aware and educate yourselves about what that real crisis is, because it's a big one. And I think it's something that can be fixable, as a chef specifically. There are chefs around the country that have restaurants called Scrap, where they serve their food specifically from food that would have normally be wasted in their restaurants, and charge for that on the menu. And they're very high-end restaurants. But, I thought, how cool would it be to have a little cafe somewhere where you're just doing scrap food? And how it could be a nonprofit operated cafe somewhere, and how, then it just gets bigger, right? The thoughts. So some of the most amazing inventions and innovations in the world and things that make change are just starting with those thoughts. So please just keep your thoughts. They're good. And share them when you can. So thank you. Keep eating and enjoy yourself.
And thank you, Chef Joey.
Yes.
What you see with Joey is what she does every day, all day with the students. That energy level and the commitment to the students and the care that she shows for each student. What you're hearing from them is genuine. And I see it when I see her working with the students. And she has a real care and deep respect for every student that walks through this door. This is really a program that is a cherished program. We are always looking for people to join, and when you join this program, it really is life-changing. So if you know anyone who you think might like to do this program, it's free. There are some income eligibility requirements.
A little bit of educate, some requirements, but they're always workable.
Yeah, they're always workable, and we take people from all walks of life, and so just keep that in mind, because we really we want to keep this program going. We want to have it grow if we can, and we're recruiting for, when's our next class?
November 13th.
Yep, so just a month from now.
And you get to help me make Thanksgiving pies and turkey dinners and all that great stuff.
So they should get in touch with Chef Joey.
Sure.
Because she has
Or call the capstone number and they
Yeah.
can direct them, and there's applications at the front desk too if somebody needs one.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
And you get great food. Too.
Yeah.
You get to eat great food.
It's amazing what we do. I'll share the link to that video to some of you that I watch with my students, and I think it's 22 minutes. Take the time. It's amazing.
So I want to get a group photo.
Yes, come on up, guys.
So we have just seen a fabulous graduation here at the Kitchen Academy in Capstone, and I've asked Sue Minter to join us. She's the executive director at Capstone and is doing a fabulous job. Sue, what'd you think? Is that Chef Joey amazing?
Chef Joey's amazing, the program is amazing, and it's amazing because it is really transformational for the students, and it's always emotional, every graduation. And these are folks who come to us with many very significant barriers, everything from being homeless to fleeing domestic violence, people who are recovering from substance use disorder, people who have been incarcerated, and they are trying to re-enter the workforce. And while this is teaching incredible culinary skills, it's also providing meals for people who are food insecure, it's reducing waste in the waste stream, but it's changing lives of the people who not only learn skills, but through the process actually find confidence in themselves and can imagine them being successful at work and in the community again.
I noticed that every one of the students talked about, and Chef Joey talked about what they were like first day, and now 9 weeks later, how they've gotten confidence and matured and feel self-worth, and they know what their future is going to be, and that's great.
You know,
Exciting.
one of the most moving, and every graduation is moving and meaningful and important, but one of the most standout graduations for me is when one of our students stood up and shared his story that he had been incarcerated for much of his life, over 20 years, and that this was the first time that for a period of, I believe, 6 months, he had been substance-free, especially, I believe, alcohol-free. And he stood up and he said, it is only because of this program, and yes, Chef Joey, that he's been able to take that step. And I'm going to tell you that that person is now an employee here at Capstone.
That is
and successfully employed. And he has a lot of support around him, but it's the confidence. It's going through a training, yes, and learning skills, but believing in yourself again. And it's hard for people of privilege who have a secure home, who have food, who have family and jobs, to even imagine what it means to grow up without all of that, and how hard it is for some of our community members to imagine and believe that they can succeed. And that's the kind of confidence I see every single time in this program.
Joey's kind of infectious, isn't she? She can draw a lot of things out of you. She has me. She gets me talking. I'm like, oh my God. But anyway, they were fabulous students. We got to meet them when we just videotaped their class, and we were here for another class the first day. So it was interesting for us to see that
the evolution.
It's just amazing what happens.
Well, you see it's intense in that kitchen, and they work hard, and they have to understand teamwork. They have to understand what it means to show up and be accountable, to be part of a team, to manage stress in the workplace. All of these things transfer, and you know what? We get people jobs. 96% of our graduates have jobs at the other end, and they have a continuing relationship. Capstone Community Action is a stepping stone. We're part of their family. The chef is an ongoing mentor, and she works very hard to place people and to help them be retained as successful employees.
That's excellent. Amazing. So this is free to participants, correctly?
That's right.
But
you know what? Capstone has to raise money, actually over $100,000 that we raise, and that's matched by the Vermont Food Bank. This is really a partnership with the food bank. So if anyone is inspired, we would love your support for this unique and really transformational program.
This is truly, honestly, one of my most favorite workforce development programs in this state. And I wish it was even bigger. I mean, bigger than it is now, because it is, as you said, so transformational.
Well, one of our growth goals is to create a similar program in Lamoille, which is also a Capstone service area. And we got close to doing that, but we didn't get the students, so we're going to keep on trying. Right. We need students to enroll. Again, it is free, but it's a commitment. Yeah. And so if you yourself or you know anyone who you think could benefit for this kind of program to overcome barriers, and it may not be that you have an aspiration to be in the food industry. It's more than the skills of the food industry. It's really about workforce skills.
Well, it's all those soft skills they talk about, and so many employers, when employees come, they don't have the soft skills: showing up on time, dressing appropriately, being a team member, and all the things you just talked about.
Yeah, professional behavior. Yeah, right. And I want to say that in addition to the kitchen experience, that our students work with adult basic education. They learn computer literacy. They also do financial literacy with our financial coaches here. Right. We do interview skills, resume building, those kind of important skills for helping people find a job too. Excellent. So. And this is just one door into Capstone Community Action. When folks are here, we try to make sure they have access to all of the important programs that we do, because we're committed to lifting people out of poverty so they can be self-sufficient and get a job and have a home and live this life that we all aspire to. I told Chef
Joey, the thing I always loved when I would come in here would be a banner that said, we don't do hand out, we do a hand up.
That's right.
Or something similar to that. But anyway, that's the message. Give somebody a hand up and they'll succeed.
So we're looking for more students. Yeah. Thank you for caring about the people in your community. This is part of building a thriving community. We often don't think about the folks who really are struggling, and this is a great program to help.
Great. Thank you, Sue Minter.
Thank you.
Very much.
We love having you.
Thank you. Very nice.